Hi, I'm Jeff.
And I'm Shaleia. Welcome back to our channel.
Welcome back to our channel.
Welcome back. Yeah.
Today we're going to talk about the magical sex life.
Yeah.
And this is Twin Flames Happily Ever After.
Yeah.
It is our way of showing you what Twin Flame union looks like after the fairy tale story typically ends. Usually says at the end of the fairy tale, and then they lived happily ever after.
Yeah.
Well, here it is. This is what we wanted to show you through our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And today we're talking about our sex life and how you can transform your sex life if it goes dead in the water. What happens if you are no longer sexually attracted to your twin flame? What happens if you no longer have that spark anymore? What happens if maybe it used to be hot and spicy and wonderful, even if it was for a long time? And this happened to us in a way, and wanted to share our real life experiences, wanted to share our story, so that maybe it will help you to get through this one if you ever run into this issue.
Yeah, or, you know, if you're in a circumstance where you have to take a break sexually, like which was the case for us when we went to have our embryo transfer back in like January of this year. You know, we were told, you know, no sex for like 7 to 10 days. And basically like, we're going to, like, at that time period, like when you get your HCG test results, we'll let you know if you should continue being sexually active or not. And I was like, oh boy, you know, because we've never really done like a sex fast before in our like 8 years of being together. It's just never had to be. And I think, you know, we did do a video on this back in Hawaii.
Sex, celibacy, and ascension.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll link that one. It's a very good one as well. And for us, like, we were on like a minor sex fast back then, but it was for a different reason because we were still so new in our union. And any time that we go deeper into our loving, for instance, like what sex would do for us, we would go into like a lot of upheaval and at that point in our life. And so we decided just to like scale it back a bit, you know, just to like, let's digest the sex that we are having and like, let's process what has come up. And so that was what that video was actually about. What this one is about is when, you know, something like the medical industry steps in and they're like, you absolutely cannot, like the doctor orders, like, you know, you can't do this. And we found it like particularly challenging, but also really healthy to reassess our sex life and
well, hold on now. Also, this video is about if your sexual relationship just fizzles out anyway.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Because it can happen, you know. Such is the nature of relationships in life. And for us, it was like really interesting. At first I thought, yeah, I can do this, no problem. Like you know, before we met, you know, it'd been a long time. So, but yeah, nothing really quite prepared me for, you know, for what happened, you know, after that.
So this medically imposed break coincided with a spiritual experience of really the death of our old sex life. And if you've been following along in our earlier videos, Shaleia talks about having sexual trauma from the time she was 3 years old, and really it stems from a deeper ancestral sexual trauma that she was overcoming, we were overcoming together. And this had manifested in our sex life as really a block to our intimacy and a block to our ability to go closer and closer. And even after the medically, you know, induced celibacy, our sex life really hadn't recovered. Yeah. And even though we could, you know, there's no longer a block to say you can't have sex anymore, it did take some time to ease back into our sexual relationship because of, you know, physical healing and emotional.
And emotional healing too. We had to heal emotionally because like I could always feel that piece of separation in our sex life. Like before, that was my trauma, and I would notice that a lot of the times when we would be making love, like it was really difficult for me to remain present because part of my trauma response was to like basically like leave my body, and that was a really big battle that I'd been fighting like all those years.
And that's the last thing you want to experience as a man, making love to your woman, is for her to just
check out,
disconnect. If you're bringing your full presence and all of your love and all your energy to fill her up inside and to share your divine gift with her, and if she's checked out, you're like, what hey, what is this? And so presence is the key to, this is what you want, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't, I just wanted to add that. I don't mean
to
stop you.
I definitely appreciate your like love and presence and your commitment to me all these years, and for better or for worse, like it's a real like it's the reason why they put that in your marriage vows. And
it's one of the 8 keys to harmonious twin flame union in our book is
commitment, exactly. And there are definitely moments where like I would regain presence consciousness in our lovemaking, but most of the time I was battling my sexual trauma. And like it was equally frustrating for me because the bigger part of whom I am was like reaching out to Jeff and like crying for him, like I'm here, like I know, like I'm right here, I want you, like I want all of you, and I want to share all of myself with you. And so like it created this like tension inside where like I yearned for him and he was right there, and yet I was like having like I was triggered and going through a traumatic response, and there was a lot of layers for me to heal around this to finally come to the core of my sexual healing, as I mentioned in like my recent previous videos. And finally, like after my biopsy and taking my the methotrexate to release this pregnancy that didn't work out, I started to feel like something melt inside of me, like deep down, like that trauma that just absolutely couldn't connect at that deeper place that we'd been wanting to connect. And it was deeply emotional for me, and I think I cried because like it's really hard when your lover is like right in front of you and like you can't reach them. And like,
I think that people following this channel really feel you on that one. Having your lover in front of you, and this is like why we wanted to talk about this, is because we knew that you many of you would really relate very deeply in knowing this. That many of you know your ultimate lover. Many of you can see them even in your everyday lives, and you can feel so deeply disconnected from them, and that can be a very painful experience.
I mean, I know the pain, and this is why I'm talking about it, because I too, like, I'm on my twin flame journey just as much as you are. And this is also my experience that I'm sharing. And so finally, I felt that that core piece of my sexual trauma like start to melt away, where I could finally like connect with Jeff in our lovemaking and be like, wow, like here I am, here you are, oh my God, this is it, this is this is what I've always wanted. And I've had like, God's been compassionate towards me over the years, and like I'd have moments where I'd be able to reach through the veil in this area, and like we'd have that amazing connection, and to kind of like show me the way and to like urge me along and to like kind of give me the blueprint of like the sex life that we're aiming for. And, you know, when you don't have the sexual trauma in the way of your lover and your lovemaking, then you get to actually experience the love that you're co-creating between the two of you in a pure, like, unfiltered way. And, yeah, it's just like our sex life has totally gone to the next level. Like, it is, like, magical. It was, like, really shocking in a way for me to realize, like, how much this trauma, this you know,
well,
had been in the way.
We can't deny that all along it's been beautiful.
I mean, yeah.
It's been an improving experience overall, and then through this miscarriage experience, which was in large part a sexual trauma healing experience as well.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It reset our sex life into a deeper level, and so everything that we had agreed upon in our relationship beforehand, it kind of fell away as a new foundation is created.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, it was always, like, really good before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's, like, no doubt. But I could always feel that thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I could always feel myself battling in my mind and in my body about not disconnecting and, you know, experiencing, like, spiritual, emotional pain in my body. And, yeah, I feel like one of the major gifts of this experience of the miscarriage is, like, healing that sexual trauma, which has brought our sex life to the next level.
And brought us closer together,
brought us closer.
And the thing is, as you continue to pursue a loving relationship, harmonious union with your twin flame, anything that's out of alignment with that love will fall away. And if it's a fundamental, foundational thing, and you've been building a relationship on that thing, eventually it will crumble away until you reach rock bottom, which is a perfectly stable foundation with God, with your source together. And from that foundation, you can remain, you can always deepen. And maybe at some point that foundation will fall out and you'll go even deeper.
Yeah.
But it's a process that you can engage in. And if you expect that you're just going to engage in your twin flame journey in any old way and that you can expect the same results that we're getting, it's probably not going to happen that way for you. And here's why. Shaleia and I engage in our twin flame journey in a very specific and conscious way. This is the teachings of union. This is the body of our work. And anyone who engages in their twin flame journey in the same conscious and specific way that we do and that we teach will expect very similar or the same results that we're getting, but for them. And part of what this channel is sharing with you that happily ever after of the results of this teaching in our lives, and also to extend that teaching to you, extend the beginnings of that teaching to you so that you too can enjoy the same results that we're getting. And that is an effortlessly unfolding life and lifestyle whereby the challenges have meaning. When you're going through these painful experiences like you saw us go through, first of all, when you do what we teach, you're walking hand in hand with the divine source, with spirit, with your creator, with God. And God leads the journey for you. And God has led us through this experience. And it was by measure of our own faith in God and in this process that he could take us through this spiritual experience, this deep challenge, not for the purpose of, hey, let's see what they can handle,
right?
But, hey, let's uproot this trauma, this separation from that state of union so that we could be closer in our union. And I gotta say, it's a beautiful journey.
Yeah, it's really like worth it. because now I experience so much joy in this place where I had been experiencing trauma, and to not feel like connected to that event in the same way anymore, especially like in my sex life. It's liberating, and like our lovemaking, like it's very healing. Like it brings enormous healing energy into me and into my life. It uplifts my vibe. I notice like a huge difference. Like I'm vibrationally much higher. My chakras feel a lot more clear and like purified. Like there's a lot of benefits to healthy twin flame sex. I can feel now on a deeper level that when we're making love, like you're giving me something, like you're giving me the love, the energy, the medicine, the spiritual like solutions that I need to help me through my spiritual challenges and blocks and my growth. And I feel like I do the same to you.
Yeah.
And so it's like a medicine, a sacred medicine that we take. And I feel like I'm able to like experience the medicine in a more holistic way.
Well, that medicine is my very being, you know, given to you, and your very being given to me.
Yeah.
And that's why we say, like, you're a virgin until you make love to your twin flame, because you've never experienced what real sex is, because it has to be like that, the medicine of your soul. And you know, you can,
it's a spiritual act more so than a physical act,
right? Like, you know, you can have sex with anyone and you can shift around your, you know, the energy that you're giving to them in order to be pleasing to them. But if you're changing your vibration to something other than what's natural and authentic to you, you're going to take from yourself to satisfy them. Or if you're giving what is naturally you, they're not going to be completely satisfied or accepting of what it is that you have to offer, which is your very divine being. And that leads to resentment and rejection and just not a healthy relationship. And while you can have sex with, you know, with another person that's not your twin flame, you can't have a healthy, growing sexual relationship that is fundamentally satisfying on all levels with anyone else.
Yeah.
And that relationship is what gives rise to this exchange of divine nectar that you and your twin flame have exclusive to one another. And I know those of you who have made love to your twin flame know that medicine, know that nectar, know how divine and perfect it is. And you can see why it's worth it for us to have gone through all of the challenges that we've gone through in order to arrive just at a new and deeper level of loving and healing here, because it's truly divine.
It is. And the real like major block, like at the core that I was able to heal, came from my inability to trust my partner sexually throughout my all of my sex life, basically. But even obviously like with you is, you know, what I'm specifically referencing, because when I was sexually abused at 3 years old, what happened was that while it was happening to me over the course of 2-3 years, there was a part of myself that I blocked off and that I kept safe, and like the most sacred part of myself. I'm like, I won't let that be touched. And I kept that protected and safe all these years. But the problem was that part of that very sacred part of myself that I would not let anybody in the world touch, like that part is meant for my twin flame. And all these years, it's been me healing and overcoming those blocks and barriers and that wall that I put up of great protection, so that I could meet my twin flame in that very sacred, vulnerable place and receive him, and also so that he can receive me, and thus we can grow our love together. And that was really like the biggest hurdle for me, because while, like, of course, I trust my twin flame, I would never marry anyone that I wouldn't trust. You know, it, like, I had to, you know, heal from all of the abuse, and it took me all this time. And you have just been so wonderful about it all, and very patient and very kind, and you never took it personal.
Well, it was my challenge to work through from my perspective that,
right.
you know, I just saw that you didn't trust me yet, and so I had to work extra hard to earn your trust.
Yeah.
And so it was, you know, 8 years of stability and consistency and gentleness and just continual compassion and unconditional love.
Because you could feel that I was traumatized in our lovemaking and elsewhere.
Well, and I, you know, if I took it personally, then we wouldn't be making love.
Yeah.
And so,
what could we do?
Well, I was very incentivized to do the right thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was, you know, you're seeing my challenge and I'm seeing yours. And with your twin flame, you get to go through it together.
Right.
And you get to go on this healing spiritual journey together. And every twist and every turn along the way, every bump and bruise and victory and utter defeat, you get to do alongside your twin flame on the twin flame journey. And it's a beautiful journey. And the thing is, when you're changing, so are they. With any other person, as you go along your twin flame journey, you're going to outgrow each other.
Oh, yeah.
And this is why maybe you don't want to do personal growth activities. Maybe you don't want to take a spiritual journey with your partner because you might grow apart. And you like that, having that relationship and that stability and that security that it appears to have.
Well, the benefits that you think it has.
Well, with your twin flame, you can have all the benefits.
All the benefits.
And not stagnate, because as you grow, you're growing deeper together.
Right. And I feel like now that I've healed that core place where, like, my trust had been, you know, almost demolished, but I protected, you know, like, it's so wonderful to be able to trust you in this place, to, like, entrust my most sacred self to you. Yeah. It means the world. Ugh.
Just take your time sitting with that feeling.
I'm like, ugh, I'm gonna cry. Here I go.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
I
think that
know.
It's important that you sit with that feeling before.
Yeah, it just feels very good to be able to, like, trust you there, because I've never trusted anyone on that level.
Your whole life, really. Not since your trauma.
Yeah. Yeah, not since my trauma. And of course, I was very, very young, so...
And how does it feel to begin to open up and begin to trust me there?
It feels very relieving. It feels very liberating. I feel freer because I just felt, like, stagnant and, like, I'm running around in circles and, like, how do I get out? I want to get out. I'm trying to get out. I'm trying to do all the ways that I know that I can with all the tools I'm equipped with to get out. And ultimately, it was, you know, the spiritual test that helped pull me through the other side, because I learned that I can overcome.
Can you talk more about that feeling?
Yeah. I was like...
Don't be shy. It's okay to have emotions, you know, on camera.
Yeah, it's just like, it's, you know, it's like not easy subjects to talk about.
Well, I admire your courage in being so vulnerable.
Thank you.
And I think that it's really valuable to others that you're able to be vulnerable and, you know, share yourself and be honest and authentic about what you're going through.
Well, just being able to, like, you know, that most sacred part of myself, being able to finally meet you. Yeah, like, it's very, like, special. And it reminds me in a way of, like, when we first met physically and we, like, ran toward each other in the parking lot. Like, it was like we finally met. Yeah. And so, like, I can feel that part of my being that's, like, finally met you here. Like, it's like healing separation. Like, yeah, finally I have union in this place where I was experiencing separation. And of course, you think making love with your twin flame is the last place that you would experience separation, but alas, it can show up anywhere.
Well, and I think that what you're demonstrating here is that even after you've met your twin flame, and even if you have harmonious union, you're still meeting them over and over again in all these new places where you're experiencing separation. And so really, even if you don't know who your twin flame is, or you're not certain, you're on the twin flame journey just the same as Shaleia and I are, well after harmonious union has occurred.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's really important that you master the skills of healing and coming into union and purifying your consciousness into perfect union, because once you're in a committed relationship, it doesn't stop there. You don't like have your hooks in and you don't have to worry about that stuff anymore. You don't. That commitment can easily reverse or erode that you thought you had. You have to do something much deeper, and that is what we teach through the body of our work. And you can get a free introduction at twinflamesuniverse.com with our 8-lesson ascension course.
Yeah, links are in the description. I'll make sure it's there for you.
Mm-hmm. So I want to talk about your feeling a little bit more, because I think that, that's where we left off, and I just wanted to give like a little credit to what you're going through, a little pause to it, but I think there's something even more, pearls of wisdom, even more beautiful to unearth here.
Okay.
Do you want to just share a little bit more about how you're feeling and having met in this place?
Well, it just, like I said, like it feels like very relieving, and like I feel like I'm finally experiencing like what our sex like is intended to feel like and be like, and like it's like truly very humbling, and I feel like a virgin all over again. Like I feel like it's all so new again, and like I feel like I'm rediscovering my partner again sexually, and like really like rediscovering myself, and like my learning who I am sexually, because obviously when you're so young and that's happened to you, it's like you're completely inhibited from knowing who you are sexually. And now I feel like I get to go back to that place from the very beginning and like take that journey, and like it's thrilling and like it's humbling, because I felt like I was prevented from it, and that I would never get to take the journey of my sexual self, getting to know myself, my sexual journey. And like I know for this path of harmonious twin flame union, like sex is an integral part of it, of the ascension process. And to me, that's not only a great responsibility, but it's extremely humbling, because to be able to experience and to use the sexual energies correctly as intended by the divine, like it makes me feel very, very grateful and appreciative that I have a creator that loves me and that doesn't tell me that sex is wrong or sex is bad or that is only meant for procreation, or that I'm using it to devolve my consciousness or go down the bad road, but like that there's a way has been opened where it can lead you and leads you straight to God. And
well, the way that you go down that road of dissension, or you're devolving your consciousness through sex, is by giving up a piece of yourself in order to get something that you want through sex. And the reason that spirituality for thousands of years has recommended against sex is because it's a very powerful tool, and if you misuse it, you can descend in a very profound way. So this is not what you want to be doing. You want to be exceptionally respectful of your sexuality, of your sexual energy, of yourself as a divine and sexual being, and only engage in a sexual relationship that you feel confident is safe for you. You feel confident is healthy and is going to be wholly beneficial and divine in an innocent way for you. So it's important to keep your wits about you and to respect yourself and
your energy and your life force, because your life force is tied to and affected to your sexual organs, and your sexual fluids. I think I was reading somewhere, something, I'm paraphrasing, something along the fact in one of my Indian books that 1 drop of semen is like 8 drops of blood. And so it is just highlighting like the importance of honoring your fluids and your sexual energy, and that to misuse your sexual fluids and energy, like it ages you, it can decrease your level of consciousness. And this is why, like, you know, the old, or I almost said the old religions, you know, they would say, you know, don't, you know, abstain, you know, practice chastity, because you would convert that sexual fluid and your sexual energy up to your higher chakras using pranayama and meditation, and then you would ascend your consciousness rather than descend it.
So having ultimate respect for this power in yourself,
it's a power,
and in your partner, and not engaging in sex with someone who you feel confident is not your twin flame, or there's not even a possibility that's your twin flame, just to try to get some temporary material needs met in exchange for something divine and powerful and magnetic.
That's like that's a gamble. Like sex should it should uplift your consciousness. It should take you higher, not pull you down. So be very careful when you do that.
Oh, you had to conclude?
No, go ahead.
Okay, you got something to say?
No, go ahead.
Okay, well, I think I'm gonna start wrapping it up.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah.
So, in conclusion, if you want to have a beautiful, healthy sex life with your twin flame, you have to be on the twin flame ascension journey. You have to follow the teachings of union. We really mean this. There is no other way, because the teachings of union are not some fragmented, personalized thing that we made up, but instead they are a roadmap of reality and the process, and it is a evolving, developing process. Not that we don't have the process down pat already. We've had it down pat for many years. It's that we're always improving and perfecting as more and more people gain more and more experience walking this path. Kaizen, continuous improvement, right? So we hope that this video has been immensely valuable to you, and that it gives you a tiny glimpse into our lives and what it's like for us to walk the twin flame ascension journey. We hope that it inspires you, not just in its results, but also in its simplicity and the ease and grace with which it's possible for you to walk the twin flame ascension journey. Because yes, there are unspeakable, undeniable, tremendous, unparalleled benefits from this journey that you cannot get in any other way, anywhere else, not even a little bit. But walking the journey itself is a divine and beautiful and holy thing that leads you closer and closer to your original ascended divine state in perfect union with your Creator. So we hope you got your dose of spiritual for the day, and if not, we got more videos, and if really not, we've got an entire body of work which allows us to go into much greater depth than we could ever possibly with a YouTube video. So thank you so much for joining us. Feel free to subscribe to our videos. Hit that notification bell, because you never know when we're going to come out with another video. You want to be notified. Don't want to miss them. And check out twinflamesuniverse.com to get our free 8-lesson Twin Flame Ascension course.
Yeah, very good.
All right. God bless.
God bless. Thank
Namaste.
you, guys. See you in the next one.